I gathered with a group of curious friends in a dimly lit room, our hearts pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. In the center of the table, the Ouija board beckoned, its mysterious letters and eerie planchette awaiting our touch. With trembling hands, we placed our fingertips on the wooden indicator and began our journey into the unknown. As we invoked the spirits, the atmosphere grew heavy, a palpable tension filling the room. The planchette moved with a life of its own, gliding effortlessly across the board, spelling out chilling messages. The entity we had contacted claimed to be a lost soul, tormented by an unspeakable tragedy. Its words sent shivers down our spines, its presence growing stronger with each passing moment. Suddenly, the room plunged into darkness, the air thickening with an unnatural cold. Whispers filled our ears, a chorus of disembodied voices that seemed to come from all directions. Shadows danced along the walls, their movements twisted and sinister. Fear gripped us as we realized that we had awakened something malevolent. The entity's messages turned malicious, its words dripping with venom and malice. It revealed secrets about our lives that we had never spoken aloud, exposing our deepest fears and regrets. Panic consumed us as we desperately tried to sever the connection, but the entity clung to us, its grip tightening with each futile attempt. In a final act of desperation, we ended the session, forcefully removing our hands from the planchette. The room returned to normal, but the scars of that night would forever remain. We had invited darkness into our lives, and its presence would haunt our dreams and tarnish our waking moments. The Ouija board had become a gateway to a realm we could never fully escape. On a stormy night, curiosity led me to delve into the forbidden realm of the Ouija board. Alone in my dimly lit room, I summoned the courage to contact the spirits beyond the veil. As I placed my fingers on the planchette, a sense of unease settled over me, but I pushed forward, driven by an insatiable desire to communicate with the other side. The planchette moved with an eerie grace, spelling out words that held a sinister weight. The entity claimed to be a vengeful spirit, wronged in life and seeking retribution. Its presence grew stronger, its energy permeating the room. I felt a cold breeze brush against my skin as if invisible fingers were caressing my face. With each question, the entity's responses grew more hostile, filled with threats and promises of destruction. The room filled with a putrid stench, the air thick with malevolent energy. Shadows swirled in the corners, their inky tendrils reaching out for me. Fear consumed me as I realized that I had awakened a force beyond my control. The room plunged into darkness, save for a flickering candle. The flames danced with an unnatural vigor, casting grotesque shadows on the walls. Whispers echoed through the room, their words unintelligible but filled with menace. I tried to sever the connection, but the entity clung to me, its grip tightening like an iron vice. In a final act of desperation, I shattered the Ouija board, the pieces scattering across the room. The room fell silent, the oppressive presence dissipating, but the encounter left an indelible mark on my soul. I became a vessel for the entity's rage, haunted by its presence in my dreams and plagued by a sense of impending doom. The Ouija board had become a conduit for darkness, and its influence would forever taint my life. Gathered with a group of skeptical friends, we sat around the Ouija board, scoffing at the idea of contacting the spirit world. We thought it was all a game, a figment of imagination. Little did we know that we were about to embark on a journey that would forever change our perception of reality. As we placed our hands on the planchette, we mocked the spirits, challenging them to prove their existence. To our surprise, the planchette moved, gliding across the board with uncanny precision. It spelled out words, revealing secrets that sent shockwaves through our skeptical minds. The atmosphere grew tense, the air crackling with unseen energy. A gust of wind swept through the room, extinguishing the candles and plunging us into darkness. Panic set in as we realized that we had unwittingly unleashed a malevolent force. The room came alive with sinister whispers, their voices echoing in our ears. The entity that had been summoned toyed with us, toying with our emotions and feeding off our fear. It knew our deepest secrets, our darkest fears, and it used them against us. Shadows danced on the walls, their forms shifting and contorting. We could feel its presence looming over us, suffocating us with its malevolence. As we desperately tried to end the session, the entity's rage intensified. Objects flew across the room, furniture overturned, and a chilling wind tore through the space. Fear gripped us, our skepticism shattered by the terrifying reality before us. We were caught in a battle with an entity we could not comprehend. With a final surge of energy, we forcefully removed our hands from the planchette, severing the connection. The room fell silent, the entity vanishing as quickly as it had appeared. But its impact would forever linger. We were left scarred by the encounter, haunted by the knowledge that the spirit world was not a mere game. The Ouija board had opened a door to the unknown, and we were forever changed by the horrors we had witnessed. In an abandoned house with only a flickering candle for light, I gathered with a group of thrill-seekers. The Ouija board lay before us, its ancient letters beckoning us to unlock the secrets of the afterlife. As we placed our hands on the planchette, a sense of unease settled over us, but the thrill of the unknown propelled us forward. The planchette moved with a sinister determination, spelling out words that revealed a tragic tale of a lost soul trapped within the house. Its presence grew stronger, its energy permeating the room. Shadows writhed on the walls, their forms morphing into grotesque shapes. Fear tightened its grip around us, but we pressed on, intoxicated by the macabre dance we had entered. The atmosphere grew suffocating, the air heavy with the weight of sorrow and despair. The entity's messages turned malicious, threatening us with a fate worse than death. The temperature plummeted, and our breath was visible in the cold air. We could feel icy fingers caressing our faces, invisible hands grasping at our souls. As we desperately sought to end the encounter, the entity's rage erupted. The house shook violently, its dilapidated walls groaning under the strain. The candle flame flickered wildly, casting eerie shadows that danced with unholy glee. The entity's voice grew louder, a chorus of tormented screams that filled our ears. In a final act of defiance, we removed our hands from the planchette, and the connection was severed. The room fell silent, but the echoes of the encounter lingered. We had unwittingly disturbed the restless spirits of the house, and their presence would forever haunt our memories. The Ouija board had become a conduit for the tortured souls trapped within that forsaken place. Late one night, driven by morbid curiosity, I found myself alone in an abandoned cemetery. The Ouija board rested on a tombstone, its letters bathed in moonlight. As I placed my fingers on the planchette, a chill ran down my spine, warning me of the darkness I was about to awaken. The planchette moved with otherworldly grace, spelling out messages from a spirit trapped between realms. It shared stories of tragedy and longing, its words filled with a haunting beauty. But beneath the surface, a malevolent force lurked, waiting for an opportunity to strike. The air grew thick with a sense of foreboding, the atmosphere heavy with a supernatural presence. Eerie whispers carried on the wind, their voices echoing through the tombstones. Shadows slithered across the ground, their ethereal forms dancing in macabre delight. Fear tightened its grip around me as I realized I had entered a realm where the living and the dead intertwined. The entity's messages turned ominous, revealing details about my past that I had long buried. It knew my deepest fears and insecurities, taunting me with its knowledge. As the session continued, the boundary between the spiritual and the physical blurred, and I could feel the entity's icy breath against my skin. Suddenly, the tombstones trembled, and a ghastly figure emerged from the darkness. Its eyes glowed with a malevolent light, and its presence exuded pure evil. Panic seized me as I realized I had become a pawn in a deadly game, trapped between the world of the living and the realm of the damned. In a desperate attempt to break free, I forcefully removed my hands from the planchette, severing the connection. The entity's shrieks filled the air, its anger reverberating through the cemetery. As I fled from that accursed place, I knew I had unleashed forces beyond my comprehension. The Ouija board had become a conduit for evil, and its influence would forever haunt my soul.